Halloween. The one night when masks mean more than faces and stories feel closer to truth than fiction. For most people, it's harmless fun. Costumes, laughter, a little fear for flavor. But every year, across towns big and small, strange things happen. Things that can't be explained and leave behind stories that live far longer than the night itself. These are 5 creepy Halloween incidents based on eyewitness reports and real-life accounts. Incidents that investigators, witnesses, and even police still talk about today. They all began with something ordinary and ended with something unexplainable. Stay until the end to find out about one of the most chilling true Halloween stories, and let us know in the comments if you had a strange experience on Halloween. The Last Trick-or-Treater. Vermont, 1977. The small town of Bells Hollow had just finished another quiet Halloween. By 10 p.m., most porch lights were out. Margaret Hayes, a retired school teacher, was washing her dishes when she heard a knock. 3 soft, steady taps at her front door. She frowned. The candy bowl was empty, but she dried her hands, turned on the porch light, and opened the door. A single child stood there, short, motionless, wearing a white sheet with 2 holes cut for eyes. Simple, old-fashioned. He didn't speak, just held out a paper bag. Margaret smiled. "You're out late, aren't you?" No response. She reached for a handful of wrapped candies from the counter and dropped them into the bag. The child nodded once and turned away, walking down the road. But as he moved into the mist, Margaret noticed something strange. The sheet never fluttered in the wind. It hung perfectly still, like it wasn't fabric at all. She watched until the small figure faded into the fog. Then she went inside, locking the door behind her. The next morning, she woke to police sirens. A boy had been found in the woods behind her neighborhood. He'd been missing for 2 days. His costume? A white sheet with 2 holes for eyes. And when investigators searched Margaret's porch later that day, they found 3 small candy wrappers, the same kind she'd given out the night before. The Candle in the Window, Pennsylvania, 1984. There's an old farmhouse that locals call the Candle House. Every Halloween night at midnight, a single candle appears in the upstairs window, glowing faintly through the dust and spider webs. People have tried to explain it for decades. A prank, headlights, a trick of reflection. But every year, without fail, it happens again. That Halloween, 4 friends, Evan, Mark, Julie, and Sam, decided to drive out and film it. They parked at the edge of the field, just as the clock struck 12. Sure enough, the candle lit instantly. Not slowly, like someone had struck a match behind the curtain. Julie swore she saw a shadow moving behind it. Something tall, with long arms that didn't move quite right. The group crept closer, flashlights trembling. At the front door, Evan brushed dust off the wood and read faint words carved deep into the grain. "Do not blow it out." They laughed nervously until a sudden gust of wind rushed through the halls. The candle in the window went dark. Everything went silent. No crickets, no wind. Just silence. When they bolted back to their car, all 4 doors were open. The engine was cold, and their camcorder was gone. The next morning, a local farmer found the camera in the field, still recording. The last image? The candle burning again, faintly flickering through the window. The radio broadcast. Ohio, 1983. A small AM station called WTRC hosted its annual Halloween night special, a live call-in show where listeners shared ghost stories. Tom Rivers, the host, was used to prank calls and static interference. But that night, at exactly 11:23 p.m., the switchboard clicked. A new voice came through, distant, metallic, warped by the radio hum. "You should stop," the voice said. "You're opening something." Tom laughed it off. "We're just telling stories, friend." "You shouldn't speak their names tonight," the caller said again. Then the line cut. Before the next caller came through, the engineer heard something through the static. Whispers, layered voices, almost forming words. One of them said, "We hear you too." Seconds later, every light in the studio flickered out. The recording continued, but only static played for 10 straight minutes. Tom Rivers never returned to work. His coffee was still warm, his script still sat on the desk, and the tape from that night, completely blank, as if the show never happened. The Man in the Pumpkin Mask. Oregon, 1996. Every Halloween, the Wilkes family noticed a man standing across the street. Tall, still, wearing a long black coat and a large orange pumpkin mask. He never moved, never spoke. Just stood there, under the same streetlight, hands in his pockets. The first year, they thought it was a prank. The second, they joked about it. By the 5th Halloween, it wasn't funny anymore. Neighbors claimed they saw him too, always in the same spot, same time, same motionless posture. Then, one year, he didn't show. Relieved, the family went to bed early. But in the morning, they found a folded note inside their mailbox. No envelope, no name, just 4 words written neatly in pencil. "Thanks for watching me." The photo booth, Indiana, 2002. A small-town carnival had an old photo booth near the back of the fairgrounds, the kind that printed out 4 black and white photos in a strip. 2 best friends, Alyssa and Jen, decided to take a picture before going home. They laughed, posed, and waited for the film to print. When the photos came out, the first 3 were normal, but in the 4th, a third face appeared. Pale, blurry, smiling behind them. They assumed it was a glitch or reflection. The attendant shrugged and said, "Strange, that booth isn't even plugged in." Later that night, Alyssa checked her phone. Every picture she'd taken since the carnival had that same faint face, slightly closer each time. The next morning, the booth was gone. The space where it stood was just bare grass, as if it had never been there at all. Every Halloween, stories like these drift through towns like smoke, half forgotten, half believed. Maybe they're warnings, maybe they're memories, or maybe, on this night, the world really does open just a little wider. And some things we call stories are just visitors passing through. So, as you step outside this Halloween, listen closely, look twice. And when you see someone in a costume standing just a little too still, maybe don't say hello. Because some trick-or-treaters aren't looking for candy. They're just remembering where they used to be. Subscribe for more creepypastas and eerie tales.